Greetings everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm your host, Captain Ryan. Today's video is me playing in the Tier 3 British battleship, the HMS Bellerophon. As the battle gets underway, it's Archipelago, it's Domination Battle Mode, and there are not that many players per team. Instead of a full roster of 12 versus 12, it's only 8 versus 8. This video is going to be the first in a series, Road to the HMS Conqueror, because if there's nothing that I love more, it is to conquer my enemies and subjugate them under my crown. Now, I do have enough free XP and enough credits that I could actually bypass all of the British battleships and just go straight for the Conqueror and purchase every single one of the ships on the way there. But I've decided I am going to go ahead, I'm going to play these ships, and I'm going to try and get some interesting battles out of them and show you what they are capable of doing. Because why not? Hey, maybe you're like me, you didn't immediately jump on the British battleship hype train and start playing them right away. Maybe you're holding in review until people, get over the hype, they stop playing them as much, or maybe you just not interested in them at this particular moment. Well, I decided finally I was going to give in, coming back to World of Warships after a nice long break, to just go for it and play these ships. And this is actually the very first battle I played in this ship. So I have a commander who is off of my HMS Hood. He's a 19-point commander. He's primarily spec'd for secondary and anti-aircraft because it's the HMS Hood. The secondaries not so much, but the basics and advanced firing training does give the AA an advantage. Now, that does mean in the future that the secondaries on these ships will also have a bit of an advantage. Unfortunately for me, I didn't actually train him properly, so he is effectively running with, half the abilities on the skills that he has. Basically an untrained captain on this ship, which is fine. I really don't expect to hang out in this ship long enough to train this captain, and there was no reason to spend 250,000 credits or the price of the ship in order to get a 50% captain that was going to be moved to a new ship. It really doesn't make sense to me. Now, as the battle gets underway, the enemy team has already lost one of their 3 destroyers, and they're in the process of capping the A cap point and the B cap point. They've secured the A cap point, and they're going to secure the B cap point. My team is starting to secure the C cap point, but we are being challenged because there is an enemy Bellerophon that's back down over there, and he is putting some effective rounds out that are preventing. Now, I have the high explosive loaded here, and I take speculative shot there. Look how close those shots landed to the broadside of that Tenryu. The accuracy on this ship is incredible by comparison to other Tier 3 battleships in the game. Normally, if you do that in a Kawachi, you do that in the South Carolina, you're going to end up with all sorts of snaggletooth spread. Now, I get the armor piercing loaded, and I get shots out there, and I do manage to connect there. Not a lot of damage, but I did connect there. So it's taking me a little bit to kind of get the range there. Needed to aim a little bit higher based on the drop pattern of these guns, whereas some of the other ones you would aim a little bit lower because they tend to fire a little higher or come in a little more shallow. Now, look at the angle that these shots will clear this island. That Tenryu disappearing behind that island thinks he's going to get away, but that's not going to be the case as I drop those shots right in on top of him with the Citadel on top of that. And again, that's with the armor piercing. Now, the enemy team is down 2 ships, so they're down to 6 ships, but hey, it's an 8 versus 8, so they've really not lost a sizable portion of their fleet that would be a detriment. Now I've got an enemy cruiser dropping behind that same island that Tenryu did. I get shots out there. Can I connect with him? I do manage to do it, but only in over penetrations. The enemy team has managed to take out one of our destroyers, so like I said, they've lost 2, but that's not a detriment. They can still pull it back. And of course, they've got 2 destroyers back here in the backfield near our spawn. Now this Chikama, pay attention to him, is not paying attention to what's behind him, and I don't know why. Yeah, he's a tier 2 player, but I have a sneaky suspicion he may be a brand new player. He is a newbie through and through because he's not paying attention to what's behind him. And now I've loaded the high explosive here because I knew that there were destroyers back over there, but I also loaded it because there were battleships that were pushing around that island, and I figured at the kind of angles that we would expect, the armor piercing probably not going to do as much damage as the high explosive would, especially with the possibility of setting fires. Now here is a very low boat. It's basically a motor torpedo boat. Very low to the waterline, hard to hit, especially at distance. But my shot's out, managed to hit him, set him on fire, and look at that. This is RNGesus trolling me at its best. Managed to hit him and leave him on 13 health. He was full strength, and now I've left him on 13 health, and I cannot get my guns to bear on him. I can't get the other gun, which is loaded and ready to go, to bear. And it doesn't matter anyway, he's going behind an island. But you'll notice again, this Chikama not paying attention. Because if he had been paying attention, he would have had his guns pointed that direction, and he could have secured himself a kill right then and there. Now, I've got this second destroyer here, and again, this is a Japanese destroyer, so you know there's probably good torpedoes out there. And I managed to hit him. I managed to disable a torpedo tube there, possibly 2 torpedo tubes, and put some serious hurt on him. Now, I'm going to get myself turned around here, mostly because I don't want to keep going that straight line, and partly because I want to try and get my gun out there to deal with that destroyer. But sadly, that destroyer kill taken from me, really disappointed there. Now I've got my turret on the opposite side ready to go. It's the only one in position ready to fire, and I managed to connect. And this is RNGesus making up for the fact that he left the other guy on 13 health, as that shot sets that destroyer on fire. And since he used his repair ability to repair his torpedo tubes, among other things, that fire is going to continue to burn. As you can see there, the damage number ticking up, and he's laid a smoke screen so nobody can see him, nobody can shoot at him. And he's just going to continue to burn. The question is he going to burn down before he can get that out? And the answer is no. Managed to secure that kill, and I'm kind of happy. So RNGesus taketh, and RNGesus giveth, which is pretty typical of this game. Managed to beach the turning radius on this ship, not as good as I'd like it to be, but you know what? That's perfectly fine. I'm still full strength, and the enemy team is down to just 3 ships. My team has 6 ships, they have 3, so we lead them in double numbers. And here is the enemy Bellerophon, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get shots out at him. Now, that was high explosive, but they did set him on fire, which is either going to prompt him to immediately repair, which could mean that somebody else who wants to set him on fire would be good to go, or he's going to continue to burn. And from the looks of the damage counter, it looks like he put that out. Now, the enemy team has pulled back the scores here. They've pulled back. They're now 3-4, but pay attention to the sea cap point. There is a French cruiser that's back over there fighting off against our St. Louis, and the St. Louis has got great skills there. He managed to set him on fire multiple times, and he finished him off. I managed to hit that battleship with the armor piercing. Didn't do a lot of damage, but I did penetrate really hard to Citadel these low-tier battleships just because of the type of armor scheme that they have. It is possible, especially if you're playing in the American ship or shooting at one of the American ships, it is easier to Citadel them unless it's the St. Louis, in which case, good luck with that. You got to go through a bunch of coal. But you can still do good regular penetration damage, and people forget regular penetration damage can be just as effective and just as dangerous as getting a Citadel, especially if you have consistent regular penetrations. So again, I hit that ship there, caused about 5,000 damage to him, which is a good amount. And I'm kind of pushing up here, and I've got this cruiser here. And this cruiser here, he takes a big hit, but look at the amount of health he's got left. He's got 7,777. He's got lucky 7s right there. Maybe not the luckiest of 7s there, as I get a full broadside out against him and Citadel him with a couple of over-penetrations and take him out of the game. And that just leaves that battleship left. And now he's going to go disappear behind an island, and I can't get shots off at him immediately. And I'm kind of expecting the other ships to finish them off with high explosive shots, which would make sense. I still have armor piercing loaded at the moment, partly because I don't know where this guy's going to go, and I don't know if he's going to turn and maybe present broadside for me to shoot at. And like I was saying at the beginning, the accuracy on the ship is actually pretty reasonable compared to other Tier 3 battleships. I mean, the spread is just really, really quite nice, and I'm actually kind of liking this. So far in this battle, this first battle, I've managed to survive without having to use my repair building, without actually having to use anything. Now, he is giving me broadside. I get shots out there. He's very low health, but he is trying to recover some of that health. My shots do connect. I earn a high caliber as a result, but they don't penetrate. They're just over penetrations, not enough to kill him outright. Really disappointed by that. But hey, you know what? I got 3 kills in that game, and I earned a high caliber and a devastating strike. 45,689 damage in that game, and 140,000 credits earned at a Tier 3 battle. Combine that with the camo that I'm using, and I have a lot of that premium camo, so don't worry, I'm not actually paying gold for that. I think I've got like 200 of those stacked up. With that premium camo, 5,000 XP in that game, but top of the team for XP earned as the only person in the entire match to break the 1,000 XP mark, earning 1,100 base XP. Well, just a little bit over that. Anyway, that's it for today's video, folks. If you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, leave a comment down below. If you'd like to get semi-regular channel news and updates, you can do so by liking and following me on Facebook. If you'd like to help support me and my channel, I encourage you to do so by heading over to my Patreon account and supporting me there with a monthly contribution. Any little bit helps, and Patreon supporters receive special bonuses. If you've got a replay like this one that you'd like to see featured on my channel, you can do so by sending it to my email. And if you'd like to watch me play various games live, you can do so by following me on Twitch. You can find the links for all of those in the video description down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.